So this happened. And I went like, ah, with pure excitement. If you don't know what Medieval is, I don't blame you. It's been dead since 2005. It was a solid action-adventure game set in 10th century England, with a great atmosphere, funny characters, and a whole hell of a lot of charm. It has a sequel I haven't touched, and a PSP remake of the original, which is one of the two subjects of this little retrospective YouTube video. In this mini-series, I'll be going through both of these games, reviewing them, and then comparing which of the two is the better version of the same game. Hang on, but why? Some of you may ask. Fret not, I will tell you. I played both of these games as a wee babby, and specifically I remember playing Resurrection on my older brother's PSP. He was never happy about this. I remember it being a fun retelling of the original with some nice updated visuals. Ooh, that rhymed. But this was during the same period of time that I thought Shadow the Hedgehog was a genuinely good game and its music was metal as fuck. I was a dumb child, so imagine my shock and surprise when I see all these decisive opinions in the YouTube comment section.
What's this? What's this?
There's comments.
Everywhere. What's this? There's white things in the air. What's this? I can't believe my eyes. I must be dreaming. Wake up, Jack. This isn't fair. What's this?
Naturally, I wanted to investigate further. So I did. Medieval is a postmodern deconstruction of the action mecha genre, where it forces the player to confront their actions as they are boxed into deep and difficult ethical dilemmas that raises questions about the morals of the main character, the player, and ultimately painting the villain in a more positive light. Ha! I'm just fucking with you. Basically, you are this dead boy. Your name is Sir Daniel Fortescue, the weird boy named Zarok, raised you and presumably billions of others from the dead and blotted out the sun to boot. What an asshole. You're a renowned hero because you killed Zarok. Not really. Now Daniel has a chance to redeem himself by, well, actually killing Zarok. Got all that? Good, because we're moving on. The typical level looks a little something like this. Code open, funnies, action, find the key, wait, for health, 2, regen, more action, more keys, open the door with the keys, items, trying to line up with the gargoyle, oh god, come on, find the chalice, fill the chalice, backtrack to the chalice, more health regen, even more action, more funnies, sometimes bosses, who knows, Hall of Heroes, new item, maybe. Now all that's really cool shit, but one of the best parts of Medieval is the art design of each level. I mean, just look at this. There's a flying pirate ship, crystalline caves, a spooky pumpkin patch, this dope-ass cathedral, and more.
Wow.
It's pretty clear that the developers over at Gorilla Cambridge really cared about the world they were crafting. Cambridge also packed each of the level objectives with variety. Sometimes you had to navigate a giant hedge maze, others you had to fight for survival in an arena, maybe you even go into a cornfield. Holy fuck, what was that? Why am I dead? The best levels are the ones that require you to solve a puzzle of some sort. Many of these puzzles have interesting ways of completing them, and sometimes they even change the level in awesome ways. That is an elephant in a lake that you froze. Not all of these puzzles are great, however. The one in the Enchanted Earth can fuck right off. However, with this one exception, each of these puzzles are mentally stimulating. Though it's very possible for a 5-year-old me to solve it, so I guess I should reevaluate what's mentally stimulating for me. But on the flip side of that coin, every level is linear and pretty short, sometimes to a degree that is unacceptable. This level takes only 60 seconds to complete, and is the third to last level in the game. Don't believe me? Well, here it is. Now this final time isn't perfect, I'm not a speedrunner. I'm killing every enemy in this level. I could potentially grab the chalice. And I'm being affected by emulation slowdown. So, you know. Why does this level exist? Like, I don't mind short levels, and being linear is not necessarily a bad thing. But this game is short as it is with 21 levels, including the final boss. And with one of them being 30 seconds long, potentially, it's kind of fucking ridiculous. But there are really good levels. For instance, towards the end of the game, you get to go into a giant fuck-off castle, which is awesome. You have to save some farmers, or burn them at the stake, you naughty boy. Then you talk to some old ghost king, and descend into a fucking volcano. That is so cool. Too bad it lasts for less than a minute, and the lava is just red steam, but you know. Then finally you have to fight some annoying boss and escape the castle before the lava chars the meat off your bones. Oh wait. To escape, you have to get catapulted into a freaking flying pirate ship. Now that's the kind of shit I want to see! And now, a brief message from our sponsor. Tired of being stuck on the wrong side of an endless chasm? Gotta reach those cookies, but can't? Ever needed a quick getaway from your business meetings? Hi, Crazy Crisis here, and today I'm introducing you to the latest trend in jumping technology, third-person platforming. With third-person platforming, you can leap away from your problems, stick it to those buses, and last but not least, you can fall into a hole and die. If you call now, you can get bad camera issues with your purchase, but do it now as supplies are limited. And remember, without third-person platforming, who's gonna save this cat? For only your immortal soul and many tearful nights, you too can gain the advantage of third-person platforming. Call now. Also, early 3D platforming can fuck right off. Oftentimes, the camera sucks just enough to make you think that you can make that jump, but you actually can't, and you'll fall through the platform into a boiling pit of acid. It wouldn't be so bad if the game didn't take away a whole vial of health every time it happened. Keep in mind, you only get like 9 of these bottles total, and your health doesn't regenerate between levels. Sometimes if you breathe in the wrong direction, it kills you, and there are no checkpoints, mind you. If you game over, it's back to your last save file, fuckboy. I hope you didn't want that chalice too bad. Speaking of chalices, let me explain them. Basically, in every level, you have a sub-objective to fill this meter to 100%. This is done by killing shit. A lot of shit. Or not killing some shit. Once this message pops up, you need to backtrack through the level and pick the chalice up. And then you can go to the Hall of Heroes where you can get new items. Boom, bam, easy. This is a very rewarding side challenge, and you get some really nice equipment. It's all super useful stuff. Wait, what? Oh no, did you just give me a fucking health potion? Really? Oh, this is the last chalice. I'm very excited to see what the last item's gonna be. Wait. What? I just 100% of the game and you gave me 3 health potions? You don't give me more of this limited lightning that I can't recharge? Unless you let it get stolen and have a fuck ton of money? No damage buff or invincibility, just some stupid fucking health potions? And it's not even a lot. This covers the same amount of health that the fucking health pools give you. One of my biggest gripes with Medieval is how really shitty the rewards get over time. They do start out great. The crossbow was my go-to weapon for at least a good 50% of the game. But, who the fuck ever uses the axe? Or the throwing daggers? Or the chicken drumsticks? Or the dragon armor? Or any variety of the longbow besides lightning? Or fire arrows? Or any variety of the longbow besides fire throwing daggers? And once you get the magic sword, if you're not using it anytime you can, you're just being dumb. This is another sticking point for me. Strangely, the more weapons you get, the less versatile the game and its systems start to feel. There is just no point to ever use the throwing daggers unless you don't get a chalice. You will quickly forget that the axe even exists. Magic arrows are the only arrows ever worth using. The lightning is just awful as an ultimate weapon that you can't actually get more of unless you fucking exploit the game. So why ever even use it? The game just isn't designed to use your full toolset, and in the case of the lightning, it actively persuades you from experimentation. Furthermore, there isn't any reason to switch back to the normal sword after you get the broadsword, and the same thing goes with the magic sword. They are just straight upgrades upon one another, and they don't add any new mechanics to the game. This is known as boring design. To demonstrate my point, let us turn our attention to the club and the warhammer. You see, both of these weapons can smash rocks, which allow you to progress further in the level. However, the warhammer has a cool charge-up attack that pushes enemies away from you, but it can't light fires. But the club can. Therefore, there is a good reason to switch back and forth between the two weapons, making both of them viable. Weapons that are straight upgrades aren't necessarily a bad thing, and sometimes they can be good, but if a new weapon doesn't do anything well, new or changes up how you play, then the game is now just straight up easier, which is boring. Tangent time! Diablo 3 actually has a similar problem, especially when it was first launched. You see, your only form of character progression in Diablo 3 is tied to your weapons and your runes. While the runes, in my opinion at least, gave your character some much needed flexibility, the weapons didn't. At launch, the weapons had, well, let's call them boring traits. They did virtually nothing. The whole idea of the game was to just make your numbers go higher. Whereas in Diablo 2, a lot of your weapons had really neat abilities. Or for that matter, Diablo 3's free-to-play competitor, Path of Exile, had a far more interesting weapon system, because in addition to giving you weapons that were straight upgrades, the weapons themselves could straight up change your playstyle based off the perks they have and the abilities you chose. This creates synergy between you as a player, your character, and the weapons you found, which makes for some really interesting gameplay. Maybe I should do a video on that. Also, a brief note on the game's auto-aim. Fuck! Really? Come on, Dan, just fucking aim. Just shoot the fucking heart, damn it! You stupid wolves! Fuck the auto-aim. The enemy variety in this game is something to be genuinely commended. In every level, the game introduces at least 1 or 2 new enemy types to match the theme of the stage. Return to the graveyard, new zombie. Pumpkin patch, eldritch pumpkin horrors. Ant, hill, ants. You get the idea. Honestly, the amount of enemies in Medieval puts to shame many games that come out now. Breath of the Wild comes to mind, frankly, with like its 8 enemy types between its huge fucking map. Come on. Speaking of enemy types, the bosses have similarly varied designs. Some of them look straight up amazing for PS1. I mean, look at this thing. That's a demon made of stained glass. That's so fucking cool. This giant pumpkin is freaking amazing, and the more it dies, the more it resembles a really gross hamburger. Every one of these bosses managed to fit in perfectly to the level they're based in, and some of them have interesting mechanics to boot. But, there is one glaring flaw. The bosses can be very easily cheesed. Also, the Enchanted Earth boss can fuck right off. The bad auto-aim paired with having to move and not fall off the platform, then waiting for these fuckers to stop so you can shoot them while they shoot you because you have to stand in the center. Ugh. Let's talk about the penultimate level. See, I believe the second to last level, or the last level right before the final boss, should be the culmination of everything the game has taught you. This is the level where the game has to test you, to throw everything it has at you in a new and interesting way. If there was a level that had any right to throw new crazy shit at you, it would be the penultimate level. And by God, if this level is a boring linear corridor, you can guarantee I'm giving it a 0 out of 10, would not recommend. So it is my great honor to say, without a doubt, that Time Device, Medieval's penultimate level, is a fantastic display and tests you on everything the game has to offer. A good puzzle in the form of this giant clock that you have to rotate to progress, a new enemy type mixed with a more powerful version of an old one, jumping, platforming, and movement challenges that test your mastery of the controls, another interesting puzzle to collect the last really shitty chalice reward, finally a cool little vehicle section to progress to the final boss of the game. The only complaints I have about this level is the freaking chalice. Getting 3 energy vials is perhaps the worst fucking reward I have ever gotten in a game ever for 100%. Not to repeat myself too much, but one of these green energy pools gives you pretty much the same amount of health, albeit slowly. Very, very slowly. So now on to the final boss of the game. the big flamboyant wizard himself, Zarok. So this final fight is split up into 3 distinct stages. You have the Skeleton War, you have the Lord Cardok fight, and then you finally square off against Zarok. Let's start from the top. These skeleton bros show up for some reason and fight on your behalf, which is a good thing because for some reason you can't actually hurt these fuckers. The only thing you can do in this fight is grab the, good lightning, I guess, from a chest in the back, and then proceed to kill yourself to give energy to your skeleton friends. It's pretty damn clear which ones you need to give health to, unless you're colorblind. I'm sorry. Wait, what happens if you lose? You know what? I really don't know what I was expecting. So unless you do absolutely nothing, you stand a pretty good chance to win this fight. And once your army disappears, they drop energy vials for you on the ground. You can even move around in the cutscene. That's pretty neat. Then Cardok comes out to play. He's got a shield that disappears the moment he charges you. It's pretty easy, take and spank fight. Boom, he's dead. Wow! Finally, Zarok stops being chicken. I mean sheep. I mean eldritch horror.
Oh my god!
The fight itself is pretty similar to the Cardok fight. Zarok has a shield that disappears periodically, and then he has attacks that can be, easily avoided. At the halfway mark, you push him to stage 2, where he summons up the Sphere of Death that does a boatload of damage and is incredibly difficult to avoid. It also makes him really hard to hit. But carry on, Sir Knight, the end is not.
Curse you, Sir Knight. I am finally defeated.
And that is Medievil, ladies and gentlemen. All in all, I really love this game. It has a charm that so few games since its release have been able to replicate. Good levels, some fun encounter with some great looking bosses, and fun puzzles. But since I do love this game so much, its flaws are all the more apparent to me. The game itself is too short. There are levels that exist for no reason. This thing wouldn't move for me no matter what I did. The bosses can be easily cheesed. The crossbow is the best weapon for way too long. Most of your chalice rewards kind of suck. The camera is spotty at best, and why the fuck is it so hard to make this jump? But I am hard on the things I love because I want them to be better, and this game is amazing. If you haven't played it, I highly recommend you go out and buy a copy. It's on the PlayStation Store. There's PS1 copies available, and I'm really looking forward to the remaster or remake, I'm not actually sure, of Medievil. Maybe some of my concerns will be addressed. Or maybe the PSP game addressed some of my concerns.
Honored. Usually the corpses, their skulls are filled with just the words. Instead...
Oh god.
Cool Finger of Fate has given him a second...
Oh please.
And possibly take a power nap.
No. No. No, no. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this thing I made. Anime stuff will be the next video I make. I don't know what it is, probably Devilman Crybaby, everybody's talking about that, and I might as well too. I'm making these things as fast as humanly possible. Medieval PSP will be out as soon as I can have it ready, which will probably be in like a month or two. In the meantime, I might try and do like some smaller reviews that don't require like a lot of editing. And I'll be on Twitch, come talk to me. I'm on Twitter, come send me a message. If you like this dumb video, make sure you hit that like button and maybe leave a comment or two. Maybe tell me how much you hate me, because I'm pretty sure all my videos are bad. If for some reason you enjoyed my content and you want to see more of it, the subscribe button's right there. I do my best. I put out at least once a month, and I hope to see you again. Have a good day.